सबसे पहले क्लाइंट आप ही, यार आप लोग कर लो या मैं कर लूँ तो बड़ा मुश्किल है वो। ओके, सो आपसे ही बिल्डिंग का डिजाइन मैम शुरू होता है। सबसे पहले क्लाइंट आपके पास ही आता है। और मैं सर से बात कर रहा था जब पूरी डिस्कशन चल रही थी, तो उन्होंने कहा कि जो हम बिल्डिंग डिजाइन शुरू करते हैं, हम क्या सोचते हैं क्लाइमेट चेंज के बारे में, और जो हमारा चेंजिंग सारा वेदर पैटर्न है उसको क्या हम अकाउंट फॉर करते हैं अपने बिल्डिंग। कोई हम ब्रीफ क्लाइंट को देते हैं कि आप जो बिल्डिंग बना रहे हो वो बायलॉज ये कहते हैं, और हम कैसे उस बिल्डिंग को सेफ बना सकते हैं। कोई ऐसी डिस्कशन हमारी होती है। माइक्स कहती है मोर माइक्स। ओके, आप हाउ डू यू स्टार्ट अ बिल्डिंग डिजाइन? लेट्स स्टार्ट विद दैट।
The question is very broad
जी
and बिल्डिंग रेजिलियंस के बारे में तो अभी ऑलरेडी काफ़ी बात हो चुकी है। तो जैसे सबने बात करी है, एज एन आर्किटेक्ट हमारा भी पैटर्न सेम ही रहता है, बट इसमें स्केल ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स बहुत मैटर करता है। स्मॉल स्केल प्रोजेक्ट्स में आपके रेजिडेंशियल वगैरह आपका आ जाता है। एट द मैक्स रेजिडेंशियल चंडीगढ़ में हद से हद 6 कनाल 8 कनाल तक जाता है। अब उसके अलावा नेक्स्ट स्केल ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स आ जाते हैं आपका लार्ज स्केल, विच इज़ लाइक कमर्शियल ऑफिसेज, होटल्स। अब इसमें एनर्जी एफिशिएंसी, बिल्डिंग रेजिडेंस के हिसाब से अगर हम देखें तो वो मैंडेट ही हो जाता है। एंड थैंक्स टू द गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर, बिल्डिंग बायलॉज ऐसे बन गए हैं कि हमें ECDC के कोड्स वगैरह फॉलो करके प्रूफ भी देना पड़ता है कि हाँ आपकी बिल्डिंग कितनी सस्टेनेबल है। सो थैंक्स टू द गवर्नमेंट नॉर्म्स की ये चीज़ें इम्प्लीमेंट होनी शुरू हो गई हैं। तीसरा सेगमेंट आपका आ जाता है सिटी लेवल, जो अभी मैं करंटली जो मैं हैंडल कर रही हूँ अर्बन लेवल के प्रोजेक्ट्स में। उसमें चंडीगढ़ एक बहुत बड़ा एग्जांपल है। अब चंडीगढ़ अपने आप में मोर देन 70 ईयर्स 72 ईयर्स हम मानते हैं कि हो गए हैं, और अभी भी आप देखो कि चंडीगढ़ एक सस्टेनेबल मॉडल के रूप में ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड एक एग्जाम्पल सेट हुआ है। रिसेंटली रशियन गवर्नमेंट ने अपनी सिटी प्लान करनी थी, और वो पूरी टीम ऑफ ऑल द important members of the city ambassadors, they came to Chandigarh to understand how sustainable this model is, and now they probably are going to replicate that or whatever is going to happen.
Sustainable and resilient,
both, yes.
Okay.
60 साल से ऊपर 70 years हो गए हैं, अभी भी हमारी जो सिटी है इतना ट्रैफिक लेने के लिए अभी क्षमता है उसकी अभी भी, और 10 साल हो जाए। तो आप ये देखो, जब सिटी प्लान हुई थी उस टाइम पे NMT विच इज नॉन मोटराइज्ड व्हीकल हम लोग मानते हैं, उस टाइम पे किसी ने सोचा भी नहीं था कि चंडीगढ़ इस लेवल तक आ जाएगा कि हमें अब व्हीकल्स पे भी कंट्रोल लगाना पड़ेगा। उस टाइम पे स्ट्रीट्स इतनी वाइड थी, तो तब हम सोच रहे थे कि इतनी वाइड स्ट्रीट्स करनी क्या है, बट आज 70 साल बाद हम देख रहे हैं कि हाँ हमें वो चाहिए। सो बेसिकली वो जो विजन थी उस टाइम पे अर्बन प्लानर्स की, आर्किटेक्ट्स की, बिकॉज पूरी टीम।
तो मैम इसमें एक क्वेश्चन और भी है, और वन मोर थिंग, जितने भी क्वेश्चन है पैनल पे, दे आर ओपन टू एवरीबॉडी। Any one of you wants to pick that up, अपना व्यू पॉइंट आप देना चाहते हैं, मोर देन वेलकम टू डू दैट, बिकॉज आप लोग इतने सारे लोग हो पैनल के ऊपर कि इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल मैं हर एक के पास एक एक क्वेश्चन पूछूं, वो शायद हम पैनल का टाइम ही खत्म हो जाएगा। तो इसलिए जिसमें भी क्वेश्चन कम होंगे, लेकिन आपके जो व्यूज हैं वो ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है। तो मैम एक चीज़ और बताइएगा, आपने कहा कि चंडीगढ़ का डिज़ाइन जो है वो रेजिलियंट था, आज ट्रांसपोर्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर को भी बेयर कर पा रहा है, जो ग्रोथ इन जो ट्रैफिक हुई है पॉपुलेशन को भी कर पा रहा है। क्या ये चीज़ बाकी जो ट्राई सिटी में बाकी 2 सिटी है उसके लिए भी सही है? बाकी
उसके लिए ये रोल मॉडल अगर ये पहले वाला करते तो अच्छा था, बट अब चंडीगढ़ इस स्टेट पे आ गया है, स्टेज एंड स्टेट पे आ गया कि अब उसको एक नया रोल मॉडल बनना पड़ेगा अगले 100 साल के लिए। सो अब अगर हमारी ट्राई सिटी के बाकी सिटीज़ को एक मॉडल रेप्लिका करना है, तो आप 70 साल पुराना मॉडल रेप्लिका नहीं कर सकते हो। आपको आज की डेट में एक नया मॉडल अपने लिए बनाना पड़ेगा जो नेक्स्ट 70 ईयर्स, बिकॉज जैसे अब AI आ गए और सब चीज़ें आ गई हैं, तब AI नहीं था। तो उसके लिए द थिंकर्स विल अगेन हैव टू जॉइन हैंड्स, ऑल द टीम विल हैव टू कम, अर्बन प्लानर्स, ऑफिसर्स, टू प्लान फॉर।
आपके हिसाब से मैम सबसे बड़ा रिस्क आज की डेट में बिल्डिंग डिजाइन, जब आप डिजाइन करती हैं तो क्या कंसिडर करती हैं? जब जस्ट स्टार्टिंग विद 2-3 क्वेश्चंस विद यू, देन आप क्या सोच के करती हैं बिल्डिंग? ऑफ कोर्स क्लाइंट की ब्रीफ है, उसको इतने स्क्वायर फुट का कमरा चाहिए, चाहे वो ऑफिस हो या हो, लेकिन फ्रॉम अ क्लाइमेट पर्सपेक्टिव आप क्या सोच के बिल्डिंग का डिजाइन शुरू करते हैं?
बेसिकली कॉन्टेक्स्ट एंड ओरिएंटेशन जो है वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है। एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल मैं अपने घर का ही देती हूँ। हमारा घर जो है वो ईस्ट फेसिंग है एंड द लॉन्गर साइड इज टुवर्ड्स नॉर्थ. मुझे इस साल 2024 में रियलाइज हुआ कि थैंक गॉड आई हैव एन ईस्ट फेसिंग हाउस विद द लॉन्गर साइड ऑन नॉर्थ. बाय बिकॉज मेरा घर गर्मियों में इतना ठंडा रहता है ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे कि आपको एसी भी चलाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती. सो इफ ओरिएंटेशन इज टेकन इनटू अकाउंट 50% of your problem is solved out as compared to context.
Right. Thank you. I think thank you for setting the context. I'll come straight to you. Sandeep ji, we were talking about risk. और आप कई तरह के रिस्क देखते हैं. और आज की डेट में आपने मुझसे जब बात करते बोला था कि अगर मैं आज टॉप 10 रिस्क देखता हूँ कंस्ट्रक्शन सेक्टर जो फेस कर रहा है, उसमें क्लाइमेट चेंज कहाँ बैठता है?
Right. This whole setup is very interesting, and the subject of risk is also equally interesting. So, the World Economic Forum has come out with a study on global risks, and they have listed down 20 risks. So, we all are aware that there are wars going on. So, we think that is the topmost risk. We know that there is AI coming, which is also a risk. There is a cybersecurity risk. So in the top 10 risks in the world, and it is expected that this list shall remain true for the next 2 years, there is only one aspect of climate risk, that is adverse weather events.
Out of 21.
Yeah, so in the top 10 there is only one. The 11th one happens to be pollution, so there is some relation.
So top 10 में only one talks about climate
Right.
risk.
But that is where it gets interesting, that when you project the same risks over a period of 10 years.
Excuse me, hello.
Right. In the next 10 years, you find that for the first time that the United Nations has started monitoring risk, an entire category has come up to the very top. And this category of risk occupies the first, second, third, fourth, and fifth positions in the chart of global risks. All are environment related, and now it does not talk of adverse weather event as a risk. It talks of extreme weather event. So, as we heard from Dr. Amar, that heat waves are going to be very, very severe. That is one of the major risks that at least a place like India is going to face. So the top risks are extreme weather events, biodiversity loss, collapse of ecosystems. An example was given where if there were no bees in the world, what will happen? So that is going to be a loss of an ecosystem. Right? Pollution is there. So there are many. Now coming to what is going to affect the construction business or the infrastructure space of any country. So you will find that me and Sandeep sir were just talking about the importance of flood risk assessments. Now earlier flood risk assessments were done at city levels. Now there are companies, and this is where the real estate and the construction companies have taken the lead. They want to do flood risk assessments in 2x2 squares, 2x2 kilometers. Now, is there technology to do that? Yes, there is. What is more important, companies, because this is a very, very capital intensive industry, they want to know what is going to be my risk 10 years down the line. So this is where predictive risk intelligence comes in, and we have heard a lot about the use of AI and
Let
ML.
me stop you here for now.
Yes, please.
This was one view about preparing for building design. This is another angle coming on what is going to be the future. Sir, views of this panel on the subject, starting with you, sir. Because, basically, do you think we are prepared in our building design for what he has pointed out?
Basically looking at, if we just look at examples, in building design, Delhi has the worst polluted air. Have we stopped making buildings?
No, even more we are making.
No. So when a client comes, is there even a discussion in Delhi that please don't build. Highly hazardous situation is going to be there for 1 month. Please don't build the building. No, the main focus is to make money. All these things are just for the purpose of meeting the government standards. So, if presume there is a government notification saying that if the pollution levels exceed this point, you can't build a building, then you will be forced to say no to the client. So, your point is well taken that the government bylaws enforce those, that's a compulsion. But this question was, when a client walks to you, do you sensitize him on the future climate change and the present climate scenario? I don't think so, anybody is doing it. It's the government regulations automatically, to an extent, maybe 30%, 40%, handle those queries themselves automatically.
तो सर मेरा एक क्वेश्चन इसमें ये है, there is a risk which has been identified. इन्होंने मैडम ने जैसे कहा, and this is true for not her but across India, हम एक बायलॉज के लिए डिजाइन कर रहे हैं. हम जो डिजाइन कर रहे हैं आज प्रेजेंट के हिसाब से कर रहे हैं.
Yes.
जो आपने फ्लड रिस्क असेसमेंट्स किए वो आज के लिए. ये शुरुआत कैसे होगी? जो रिस्क फर्स्ट 10 रिस्क जो होने जा रहे हैं फ्यूचर में, उसमें से 5 एनवायरनमेंट रिलेटेड होंगे, क्लाइमेट चेंज रिलेटेड होंगे. इट इज गोइंग टू इम्पैक्ट द बिल्डिंग डिजाइन. कहाँ से शुरुआत होनी चाहिए?
Okay, I also remained as Director of Disaster Management for Punjab Government for 2 years. The issue is that he has rightly said that now some builders have started to think on that lines that they need to have a flood assessment of that area done in a particular zone, and a very limited zone. 2 by 2 is not even a zone, right? So there is slight inkling because sometimes such projects take long time to be sold. See, one event in one monsoon, if there's a flooding in that facility, nobody will buy the house there. So there again, the issue is commercial. Now coming to your question, whether that future is being seen as of the moment, I don't think so. Any architect or planner has an access to that data in real time. On the private sector, on the government sector, yes, there is a limited access to such studies and such data. The main project of Government of India is the mitigation project, which states are supposed to take and take mitigation measures into place to prevent these disasters to happen. So that's another subject altogether.
That's a completely different.
Different
Those are
subject.
reactive in nature.
No, the mitigation is preventive in nature, right? So reactive is relief and rehabilitation. So it would be a great thing if the building industry takes that proactive step, not to build the buildings in the flood prone or the disaster nature, so that the
Right,
buildings.
sir. I'm going to stop you here now, Gaurav ji, and I'll come to you, sir. You heard, आप developer हैं. What is the kind? आप जब building बनाते हैं और let us say आपने एक residential project शुरू किया, office शुरू किया, किस तरह के risk assessments आप करके वो project बनाते हैं? या आपके जो आपके जो buyers हैं, वो क्या demand करते हैं?
देखिए सर, हम जिस जोन में हैं, अगर हम risks देखें क्या है, the first and foremost is earthquake. Second is
थोड़ा fast है.
the second is the heat. Earthquake is first, second is heat, third is floods. I think for this reason, these are the 3 prime risks identified. I must say, policy making during the last maybe 10 to 15 years has improved significantly. Kudos to the policy makers. Things have improved. And in case of earthquake, for example, I don't think any of the grade A and grade B builders is taking any sort of risk. They are very, very clear in their minds that it has to be followed, and there are policies which mandate that.
वो तो हो गया, आपके पास laws है उसके लिए जो कर रहे हैं. इसके अलावा क्या करते हैं? और कोई रिस्क आप देखते हैं उसके लिए?
See, heat is the second risk.
So heat के लिए क्या देखते हैं आप?
For example, in Sushma, if you see any of our facades, projects done by us, we avoid glass. Though ECDC, I think, allow like up to 40% glass, but we try to limit it to maybe around 20%. None of our buildings has a glass, fenestration area more than 20%. So this is something which comes from management, that okay, though 40% is the upper limit, but let's try to restrict it to even lower level. When it comes to floods, for example, one of our projects is very close to Ghaggar township, the 130 township. So we hired an agency, we did all the flood analysis. Ghaggar today and Ghaggar maybe 15 years from now, 20 years from now. So there was no mandate to do it, but we did that exercise.
Sure.
But the point I want to make through this forum is, grade A, grade B builders are maybe not even 5% of all the construction happening, around. Let me tell you simple things like rainwater harvesting, which was, maybe all of us know, and we know for the last maybe 15 years, 20 years. You ask anybody who is building a house in Panchkula, Mohali, Chandigarh, anywhere, the contractor will tell him, sir, kuch nahi, ek khadda maro, तो 5-10 फुट का एक दिखा दो, यही आएगा, उसने ऊपर से इतना ही देखना है। I proudly say, मेरे घर से एक भी बूंद पानी बारिश में घर से बाहर नहीं निकलता। अगर हर किसी का घर का पानी उसी के रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग पिट में जाएगा, तो ये जो चंडीगढ़ में सड़कों पे फ्लडिंग होती है, वो सिर्फ सड़कों के सरफेस एरिया से नहीं हो सकती सर, उतने कैचमेंट एरिया से वो लोगों के घरों से बाहर जा रहा है।
So, right, Gaurav, I hear you, and you are talking about the current context, जो laws हैं, उनको implement करने के लिए जो sincerity में नहीं हो रहे हैं, अगर वो होंगे तो आज की problem है जो solve हो जाएगा। I understand. आप कुछ कहना चाहते थे सर?
I just wanted to add, we all know that disasters are increasing with each passing year, and the other aspect is that disasters are becoming multifaceted in nature. That is another perspective which we have to take on.
Absolutely.
Like the current example of Wayanad, you see heavy rains are accompanied with landslides, earthquakes are accompanied with tsunamis. Similarly, heat waves are accompanied with wildlife fires. So we have to collaborate with all together to come out of with the solutions to handle all these multifaceted nature of disasters. And in the coming years, it is going to be more complex. So we have to integrate future predictive models into the building technology to come out with the solutions to foresee all those parameters to come out with the best solutions.
So, Dr. Sir, that's exactly what the climate resiliency will be all about. We should be doing that.
And specifically, this is very, very relevant to developing countries. The finance part which they touched, with the major data, approximate 3% costs is the increase in the actual cost to deal with the resilience structure. And the benefit of cost to investment is always 4:1. So 1 penny spent will result in benefit of 4 pennies when you treat the buildings in those matters.
Do you see that currently being pursued while the Tri-City is being developed, especially Mohali, the Sheikh Zayed Road se shuru karke we are talking about? Do you think, she talked about legacy, Chandigarh, learning, resilience in the new context. Is our new city that we are developing resilient in the new context?
Irony is we always look when we are talking about disasters because we have a nature that we forget the things very soon. So we never take those opportunities which we have already faced in terms of disasters to come out with solutions which are better, which actually has to be done. The buildings has to be better once you have gone through the disaster. But again, we always think on a short-term basis, whereas we have to keep
Which is
our
what he said,
visionary
the commercial
approach.
angle comes
Sir
into
has
the
touched a
picture.
very relevant point. we have to keep a visionary approach and we have to think on long-term solutions, and only then we will be able to actually achieve the resilient structures which we are looking for from multi-action disaster perspective.
Sure. I'll talk about it. Malaji, sure, please, Manik, go ahead.
Can
Let it go first. You wanted to say.
Sir, I think so that most of the buildings in India is developed during 1990s and after that. So we are talking about the new buildings. I think so we must talk about the older buildings also, which is going
Right.
down. So how we can talk about how we can become that more resilient or
Right. We have an existing stock
Yeah.
also जिसको भी करने की जरूरत है. माला बॉम्बे से आती है. There is a developer in Bombay. I'm not going to name the developer here. He commissioned a study. वो पूरी सिटी बना रहे हैं और सिटी जो होती है वो एक दिन में डेवलप नहीं होती, वो 10 साल 20 साल लग जाते हैं सिटी डेवलप करने में. मतलब एक लार्ज टाउनशिप है बेसिकली उनकी. उन्होंने एक स्टडी कमीशन की ये देखने के लिए कि 20 साल बाद क्या क्लाइमेट रिस्क उनकी बिल्डिंग और उनकी सिटी फेस करेगी. उसमें से एक था रेन वाटर. सब लोग ये कह रहे हैं कि आज सवेरे भी बात यही हो रही थी कि जैसे जैसे ग्लोबल वार्मिंग होती जा रही है, इवापोरेशन इज बिकमिंग मोर, प्रेसिपिटेशन इज बिकमिंग मोर, दैट मींस रेनफॉल और हेवी होती चली जा रही है. वो ये देखना चाहते थे कि उनकी सिटी पे क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा अगर सी का लेवल बढ़ता है एंड दूसरा एक्सेसिव रेनफॉल क्या होगा. And they commissioned the study. They could not find anybody in India. They were not aware of you. They could not find anybody in India. They went to UK to get this done. And those parameters are being now implemented in a city design so that it stays relevant 20 years down the line. Malaji,
I think I know the builder also, but I
we
will.
both know the buildings, yeah.
That's a futuristic vision, but I want to talk the today's reality because you had asked from everybody about the basic concept which we are discussing in today's program. So according to me, climate change is a very old buzzword now. It's a climate emergency now. It's not just climate change. The reason is that if you see the climatic boundaries, there are 9 climatic boundaries as per global research, and out of that 7 climatic boundaries have been already crossed. Limits are crossed.
Right.
Yes. Only 2 boundaries, I think, very soon. It is also going to take over. I think you must have seen the movie also Breaking the Boundaries. So I'm just referring that as well. And apart from that, you know, if you see the United Nations studies, 35 to 40% the carbon emissions, even energy consumption, even the materials consumption, that's just being consumed in the building sector itself. Because previously we were thinking that only the pollution and emissions are only from the industrial sector. But now the perception has changed. That's what the real estate industry is addressing climate change at some level. So when you talk about the big corporates or big giant builders, definitely it's very important for them because of the financial obligations also. Because investors are not going to give you any funding unless you don't inventorize your climate risk. One thing is that. And you also give them plan to tackle those emergencies in terms of mitigation plan. So
can you just talk about, I think you picked up the subject which is what I wanted to go.
yeah.
Funding agencies. Because all of us go to investors, all developers go to investors.
Yeah.
What is the changing face of this investigation?
Yeah, I'll tell you. It's a something I see now. I'm giving you my experience, like because I'm dealing with multiple real estate stakeholders. So now I see that at least with the listed companies, I would say, because of this mandate of BRSR and ESG mandates. So these things have become mandatory when if you see the funding portfolio or any loan portfolio. So some builders take it as a granted also. They're just like a checklist. They give some information and they give some commitments that they will handle climate risk and all that. But some are really doing some serious job also. And they have their own ESG strategic disclosures. They are working green buildings. They are certifying their projects. So they are following this green building approach. Even I have seen that in-house, they have a very good deal now because previously you don't have environmental people, you
No,
know.
but are those in-house team equipped to handle a subject like what we are talking about? The risk that we are not even aware of at this point of time.
I think still there
Please
is a gap.
understand.
Still there is a gap. Still there is a gap. Even the I would say they have started taking interest in those items, like they are creating sort of awareness, you know, within their organization. But still they are seeking experts' advice, support, external support from different experts to tackle these issues. Like for example, big builders example you have just given. I have seen that they have an MEP department in-house, they have in-house design department,
Okay,
but
Balaji, let me
still,
put it differently. मैं सर से मैं जब भी बात कर रहा था, मैं sorry मैम, just because to make it a little more interactive. सर से बात कर रहा था, सर ने कहा, इन्होंने अपनी स्पीच में बोला, सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज आज मैन-मेड क्या है? और फिर उन्होंने जवाब दिया इलेक्ट्रिसिटी. And then when he was sitting there, he said, क्या हमारी बिल्डिंग अगर मैं एक हफ्ता इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बंद कर दूं? After all, man, the disasters are going to happen, and those disasters you cannot predict. Like one of them was COVID. It was man-made or natural, whichever way you take it, and the intensities are going to increase. They are going to become more frequent, and they are unpredictable at this point of time. Or rather, there is not enough study which tells us what needs to be done. We have electricity cut off for 1 week. Do you think our buildings are resilient enough to offer you in current design the way we
no,
can?
not at all.
Not at all.
Because